Les blocs ne sont plus visités que par une caméra. Une drôle d'herbe a poussé et recouvert la terre usée par le piétinement des concentrationnaires. Le courant ne passe plus dans les fils électriques, plus aucun pas que le nôtre.
The exposition of Alain Resnais' Night and Fog. Empty landscapes, beautiful. Then the camera starts moving. Slowly it pans down and reveals that this landscape is actually marked.
Même une prairie avec des vols de corbeaux, des moissons et des feux d'herbe.
The same movement is repeated. We see green grass and then barbed wire, blocking the sight in this landscape.
Même une route où passent des voitures, des paysans, des couples, même un village pour vacances, avec une foire et un clocher peuvent conduire tout simplement à un camp de concentration.
The camera discovers this place. It explores what we are usually not seeing, ignoring signs of the past, scars that mark this landscape. The traveling camera is an important feature in Alain Resnais' film, and he already identified it in the historical footage which he found in the archives. Constantly people are on the move. They are walking from right to left and from left to right. This footage was taken in the Westerbork camp, a transit camp in Holland. This footage sneaked in and is most likely made in Poland. An old man, children walking along the cattle cars. The camera slowly pans with them. Who was standing behind this camera? Who was following the people waiting for the deportation to the concentration and annihilation camps? Was it a Jewish prisoner? Was it a German cameraman? The film in Westerbork was made on demand of the camp commander, Mr. Gemmecker, who we see here in the center. What we see are last gazes of people who are deported. What we see is a camera watching, a camera panning. This panning was most likely what Alain Resnais found so fascinating about this footage. From the number to a face, the face of the young Zetela Steinbach. She was later deported with her family. Closing doors. Blocked sight. The train is departing. Its destination, Bergen-Belsen, Auschwitz.
Train clos, verrouillé. Entassement des déportés à 100 par wagon. Ni jour ni nuit, la faim, la soif, l'asphyxie, la folie. Un message tombe quelquefois ramassé.
Alain Resnais uses this footage to illustrate the transport from life to death, the incoming train. Nobody filmed it. This scene is from a movie made shortly after the war by Auschwitz survivor Wanda Jakubowska.
Aujourd'hui, sur la même voie, il fait jour et soleil. On la parcourt lentement.
Traveling camera,
à la recherche
traveling trains.
De la trace des cadavres qui s'écroulaient dès l'ouverture des portes.
Slow movement.
Ou bien du piétinement des premiers débarqués poussés à coups de crosse jusqu'à l'entrée du camp. Parmi les aboiements des chiens, les éclairs des projecteurs, avec au loin la flamme du crématoire, dans une de ces mises en scène nocturnes qui plaisaient tant aux nazis.
gate, also iconic, a slow panning shot. Resnais' film and this montage of movement, this montage of a deportation, became a model for later representations. For Konrad Wolf, director in the GDR in East Germany, Night and Fog was an important source for his film Stars. Stars was made 4 years after Resnais' film in 1959. One of the first German films dealing with the history of the Holocaust. We recognize these shots. We know these images. Déjà vu. Thomas Elsässer writes about Stars. Turning to the visual imagery of the film, one is struck by the many associations that convey a sense of a déjà vu. It begins with the women and the children being loaded into railway cars at the start of the film and continues through the shots of detainees at the barbed wire to the emotionally and thematically central image of Ruth, the Jewish girl, clinging to the bars of a window as the transport pulls out of the station. Here, factual material derived from the historical record is overlaid and combined with images that have become iconic.
Un message tombe quelquefois ramassé. La mort fait son premier choix.
Traveling back into history. A traveling camera travels to the past. What can we see? How can we see? Again and again, this question. Seeing, imagining, exploring. The camera moves and moves. It discovers, it preserves, it documents. The traces of the present, examined by the camera. They connect to the objects of the past.
Voici les réserves des nazis en guerre. Leur grenier.
Lost objects. Objects that replace the dead.
Rien que des cheveux de femme.
Metonymic images that should help to imagine. To imagine the unimaginable. The objects transform into landscapes. Landscapes examined by the camera.
À 15 pfennig le kilo, on en fait du tissu. Avec les os. Des engrais. Tout au moins, on essaie. Avec les corps, mais on ne peut plus rien dire. À la main prend du temps. On commande des boîtes de gaz cyclone. Rien ne distinguait la chambre à gaz d'un bloc ordinaire. À l'intérieur, une salle de douche fausse accueillait les nouveaux venus.
Again, a traveling camera moving through the chambers of death.
On fermait les portes.
Revealing traces.
On observait.
Showing what we cannot see with our eyes.
Le seul signe, mais il faut le savoir, c'est ce plafond labouré par les ongles. Même le béton se déchirait.
Moving along the ceiling. Rendering visible. An act of imagination. The flow, the traveling. The footage from Westerbork in a courtroom. Actually in a theater that was turned into a courtroom. Alain Resnais' film premiered in Israel during the Eichmann trial as evidence of a crime. The travel back into the past, watched by the perpetrator. Silent footage. What can it tell us? The panning camera, discovering, revealing.